Kevin Oakes is the Border Patrol Chief for the Rio Grande Valley sector. Chief, welcome back to the show. Let's get an update from you on some of the numbers that you have been seeing of late as far as detentions. Are they still a little slower? Are they slowing down compared to the peak some weeks back?
It's a lot slower than it's been. It's been actually very nice because we've had an opportunity to sort of reset and retool and clean up a lot of the issues that we were dealing with in terms of the mass influx. And so now it's been very manageable, and we're taking a deeper, better look at a lot of the operations and trying to adjust those as well. The
peak of the mass influx, what were the numbers that you were dealing with back then?
There was a few times where we were up to 1,400 arrests a day, and yesterday we arrested about 461. So it's quite significant.
Is 461 a more normal number, or is that still north of what would you consider normal?
Well, we're still about in the 70s, about 70% more than we were last year. But,
okay,
with the additional manpower that we've brought on in the last year and the detailers that we have, it's more than sufficient to take care of business.
Is the lower number the result of deterrence, individuals that are just not crossing here because, well, they see DPS and perhaps they hear news of the National Guard and other patrols that are taking place south of the border?
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. The operation with the Department of Public Safety, and then all of the other, Hidalgo and Cameron County and Mission Police and all the other police departments, all in a unified effort helping us out has had a really significant impact, I believe. And I just want to say thank you for their support, because they've done a heck of a job supporting us all, with trying to make the community safer.
Rio Grande Valley Border Patrol Sector Chief Kevin Oakes, our guest on 710 KURV.
Yeah, Chief Tim Sullivan here. So the influx of Central Americans, as you say, has slowed. It certainly hasn't stopped. What would you say the situation is in your detention centers as we speak?
Oh, in the detention centers, it's better because we don't, they're at the capacity they should be instead of over capacity. So it's much safer, and it's cleaner, and it's easier to maintain. And in fact, a lot of the juvenile centers, like Lackland, they've since shut down, and the one in Nogales they've shut down because of the number of unaccompanied juveniles isn't what it was in previous months. Are
you still getting visits from, I guess, high-level politicians? Because it's faded from the news, this immigration influx, but again, it hasn't completely stopped, of course.
Well, we get a few trickle through here and there, but not not like it was in May and June when it was every day and then all weekend long.
On another issue, any advice for your agents out in the field when they come across a militia member who they may not immediately recognize as a militia member? Is something we've seen a couple of incidents in the past month.
Yeah, maybe you can explain what happened this past weekend too.
Yeah, and so I'll tell you, everybody that wears a uniform, whether it's in the military and law enforcement, all takes an oath to defend the Constitution, and Second Amendment rights are something that we all support because we support the Constitution. But I can tell you that down on the border, these encounters are problematic, and I can appreciate a lot of people wanting to help out, and we appreciate the help, but we'd rather have the help by a telephone call, identifying some illegal activities that could be reported to the proper authorities, because people running around at night wearing camouflage, it is not a good deal. There's plenty of professionals that are on the border that are taking care of that, and although we do appreciate the sentiment, it's not helpful.
There's coordination with DPS, coordination with the National Guard. Is there any effort to coordinate with some of these citizens groups, militia groups that are out there patrolling some area?
We have met with them in the past and continue to do so. And some of the private landowners have hired some of these people. And a lot of those people are more security for their ranches and property than true militia. But the ones that are wandering around on public lands and then straying over into private property may not have permission from the private property owners to be there, and that can be problematic because we know who the property owners are, we know who all the other agencies are, and then when you run into people at night who are dressed in camouflage, not unlike some of the cartel members we run into,
right,
there could be problems, and we would hate to see an incident happen.
All right. Chief, thank you for your time. Chief Kevin Oakes, Rio Grande Valley Border Patrol Sector Chief, joining us on 710 KURV.